Welcome to the fourth tutorial I'll make for Kali Linux. So I have to start with a warning. This tutorial is for educational purposes only. I do not condone any act of computer misuse. This video is in objective alignment with the Kali Linux Certified Professional. So as I'm using Kali Linux, I noticed that it has Netcat installed, which is kind of funny. Netcat is such an old program. I don't imagine anyone uses Netcat today, but maybe you would in some sort of test environment and you may need to know it. Alternatively, on the Kali Linux website, it does have information about PowerCat. PowerCat is a new version of Netcat that's used with PowerShell. So I started playing around with PowerCat a lot more, and I found a way to add backdoor access to allow persistence. So let's recap what we've done so far in this video. So in the very first part, we found an exploit. In the second video, we played with interpreter shells and the different modules. The third video, we dumped and cracked some NPL hashes. However, how do we set up persistence? What if this exploit is patched and we lose access to the system? Well, then that wouldn't be very good. We need another way to gain access to the victim. And that's why I made this video. It's about persistence. Okay, let's go into our Kali Linux machine. So we're going to learn persistence with the PowerCat module. So what are the conditions? The conditions are that the victim uses PowerShell. It's a lot easier even if they have PowerCat modules installed. So there's a lot of different ways we can set up persistence and scripting to use PowerCat. The old ways I used to set up persistence were just different logon scripts, but in this environment, no, I wouldn't use a startup folder. It's just too obvious. So I'm going to recommend that we use a scheduled task. Okay, well, I have access to the victim right here. I'm at a system 32 shell. So we need to find a task and let's do a query. So this is the schedule task command. We're going to query the tasks this victim has running, and we're going to put it in verbose mode. You absolutely need to use verbose mode because if you do, you can find out which tasks are being used by system or NT authority. Okay, so let's do that now. I copy that. Okay, it is a live video. Although I kind of played around all morning and I got this to work, yeah, I'm sure there'll be some hiccups. So, okay, let's paste it in. And we're probably going to get a ton of information that we don't really need. Yeah, there's a lot of scheduled tasks. It's going crazy, right? You can pipe that out into a text file, or you can just read it from the terminal itself. However, that would take a very long time. And for the simplicity of this video, I already know which scheduled task I'm going to use. So before we pick the task, I do want to say that it's highly recommended that you customize the PowerCat module to work without having to pass arguments. If you do that, it will be so much easier. The arguments you need to know are TAC L, which is listen, TAC P, which is port, TAC E, which will launch this shell. I should probably specify that you would want to use either a CMD shell or a PowerShell .exe. So one of those two. Well, for now, we're going to do PowerShell. And T for timeout. If you're able to customize these modules and specify them in the script or in the module that you make, then This is going to be a lot easier. Okay, step 2. So I know the task that I'm going to use. It's going to be Adobe Acrobat. I specified the PowerCat module that I want to use. This gave me a pretty big headache because, like I said, it's hard to pass arguments through the command line. You can do it through the GUI, but we don't have access to the GUI because we're interpreters. Okay, so you can use that module if it's installed already. You could use a script. Or if you can't do either of those, you can use a batch file with those arguments in the batch file since you can only do one command here. A bit frustrating. Okay, well, in my case, I've already modified it. So let's run this command to change the scheduled task. Okay. And success. It has taken the new task. It's easy to put persistence in these tasks because they're so common. People have Adobe, people have Google Chrome. They're probably not going to look at these tasks very often, so it's easy to hide in here. Okay, step 2 is done. Let's move on. Now, most computers are secure. We know the condition is met because it's using PowerShell. However, we want to change the setting on the machine to allow scripts to run. So this is called an execution policy. We want it to be unrestricted. Yeah, I don't know why that pasted a million times. Did it? Whoa. Yeah, okay. Can I cancel that? I broke something. Okay. Okay. Anyway, I got the shell back that I needed because I broke something. Let me see what happened here and try to run it again. Copy and paste. Yeah, that's not working. So just forget that. You can run this command if you need to, but for this video, I won't because it's breaking stuff. Okay, there we go. So skipping that part. But you can do a reg add. So let's talk about this command here, even though I skipped it. Okay, you can do a registry add, and this goes into the PowerShell settings. Okay, /v specifies that exact key. The data I put to unrestricted, and I did a /f. That will force it to take the new policy. You should, once you're done, switch it back to whatever state it was in, so that way you can cover your tracks. Okay, step 4. We can start the task if we want to. That will start the listener, the shell. Okay, I hope my paste doesn't freak out again. Yeah, I wonder why that happened. That's super weird. Okay, we want to run that task. Success. Okay, so you can turn that task on or off, and that will turn the listener on or off. Okay, step 5. So I have a script for 500 is just a normal command prompt, and then 600 would be PowerCat. Using PowerCat, I can run any program I want upon connection, and I choose to use cmd.exe and PowerShell.exe. Okay, Now, like I said, this is just a normal shell, right? I'm going to open PowerShell now. Hi. So, this machine does not have PowerCat, so let's install it. This script shall install it. And let's see if it does install. It's taking a second. Okay, so if I type PowerCat now, do I have a PowerCat? And I do, indeed. Okay, so on the scheduled task, it's set to port 600. So if I get a PowerShell after this, it means the scheduled task worked correctly. Do I have a PowerShell or not? And I indeed do have a PowerShell. Notice that Kali is my name here. Okay, so if I do a who am I, I'm not going to be Kali, but I'll be the other victim. And I am a desktop user. So I have officially gained a PowerShell of that user. Now, the scheduled tasks can be per user or it could be by system. You want to get a system shell, it's higher. But in this case, I have a user shell. I think I made a mistake. So if I ran like Notepad, then it should open it on the victim machine. Let's see, maybe notepad.exe. So then we should see a notepad.exe down here. And yes, sir, we got it. Okay. So you need to make sure that you're not running it as user, but as system. So make sure the schedule task is system, not user. And is that it? Yeah, that's it. So that's how you can get backdoor access using PowerCat. All kinds of different options. Make sure you're getting a system shell and not a user shell like I did here. But that's it. You just customize the listener, customize the payload, and you can run it as a scheduled task. And it's kind of hard to catch as an administrator. Thank you for watching.